everybody, and welcome back to Flock Talk. Today we are going to be doing another round of behavior solutions. Today we are going to be covering what to do with your bird who just will not stop chewing on your earrings or your necklaces or whatever else you've got that you do not want your birds to be chewing on. This is an extremely common behavioral problem because just the same as human babies will stick things in their mouths to explore their environment, parrots will stick things in their beaks to explore and play as well. And this is all fine and dandy when it comes to the parrot world of exploring tree branches and leaves and figuring out what things are, but in the human household where there are toxic metals and jewelry and things that you do not want your birds chewing on or could be actually harmful for them to get a hold of, this obviously presents some problems. The main thing to realize is that your bird is not chewing on your necklaces or your jewelry out of malicious intent. Your bird is not chewing on things because it wants to make you mad. Although that can happen, it is not nearly as common. Generally speaking, a bird is chewing on your earrings and your jewelry because it finds it enjoyable, because the textures are fun, or simply because it enjoys spending time with you and wants to participate in the same social behaviors and things that you are doing, and that just happens to be the jewelry that you're wearing or whatever else is going on that day. So the first and easiest solution when it comes to stopping a bird from chewing on your jewelry is to simply not wear it. If it is an option for you to remove those things, I would simply take them off. You don't have to be wearing your jewelry with your bird around. You don't have to be putting them in danger where they could possibly chew on those things. It isn't necessary for you to be wearing your jewelry, so you can just take it off. That's an easy enough solution. However, if you cannot take off your jewelry for religious or sentimental reasons, there are other options for you as well. The next easiest solution would be to simply give your bird something else to be doing. So if your bird's usually sitting on your shoulder and nibbling at your earring, you could simply give them an alternative in order to redirect that behavior. If your bird is chewing on your jewelry because it finds it entertaining, it thinks that it's fun, or the textures are interesting, you can find lots of tiny, similarly textured foot toys that you could give your bird when they are on your shoulder. We also did a tutorial not too long ago on how to make your own parrot necklace. These are excellent alternatives for those of you who have birds who get bored on your shoulder and want to play and engage. They'll chew your shirts, they'll chew whatever. Making one of these toy necklaces is an easy way to give your birds something that they can play with while still engaging and interacting with you. While it is something that is appropriate for them to be doing, it gives them a safer way to be engaging in those behaviors. Getting your bird interested in chewing this new toy necklace or whatever foot toy you've given them is usually pretty simple. For most young birds, if you give them something new, they will want to explore and figure out what it is. So if I were to suddenly be wearing a different necklace, Newt here would just hop on over and give it a quick nibble, figure out what it is, and you can encourage those behaviors. Every time the bird is engaging with the necklace, give them lots of praise, give them lots of attention. You could even hide treats and things in and amongst it to further encourage that exploration and engagement with the appropriate toy for them to be chewing on. The second method that is a little bit more labor intensive and requires a lot more care on your side of things utilizes a significant portion of negative punishment. Now, what negative punishment is removing something from the environment to discourage a bird's behavior. Now, generally speaking, a bird is participating in these behaviors because it is trying to do some social, fun playtime with and on top of you. Now, this also means that your jewelry is coming into play, and that's causing some problems. Now, the main thing to focus on here is that your bird is engaging with things on you to engage in that social play, to have fun with you, to engage in what you're doing. So what your bird wants is that social interaction, is that fun exposure with you, is all that attention from you. So in order to discourage this, you're simply going to remove the things that the bird wants, which is your attention, or playing with you, or playing on the earrings, whatever it is. So every time that your bird goes for an earring or nibbles it, you're simply going to put them down. You're not going to yell at them, you're not going to scold them, you're simply telling them that you're coming off of me now, you have chewed on my earring, that means you're not playing with me, I'm not talking to you, we're not having a fun time anymore. All of those things that the bird wanted has gone away. This method is what's called negative punishment. It sounds a lot worse than it is. In the training world, negative simply means removing something from an environment, and that is it. With punishment in the training world, it just means a method by which we are going to be reducing a behavior's repetitions. So we are going to be removing our attention and our affection and whatever else from the bird's environment to reduce chewing on our earrings or our necklaces or our shirts. While that is kind of the main process of reducing this behavior, it is very important that we apply positive reinforcement as well as the negative punishment. You want to make sure you are still reinforcing the behavior that you do want. If you aren't telling your bird what you would like them to be doing instead, sitting quietly on your shoulder, chewing a different toy, maybe preening your skin or nibbling something else, if you're not praising those things and reinforcing that, it's going to be a lot more difficult for your bird to understand what you want. You can create a lot of frustration, and you could actually end up with a very aggressive bird because of that frustration that's building up from a lack of communication. So every time that you are taking your bird off of you for chewing your earrings and just leaving them for a moment, when they come back and sit on you and are not chewing on your earrings, make sure to give them lots of love, make sure to offer them some treats, talk to them very happily, maybe give them some scritches, whatever your bird does enjoy. Over time, your bird is going to start to understand that every time they nibble on your earrings, all that love and affection and playtime goes away. But if they sit on your shoulder and play with an appropriate object or sit and chill, they will get lots of praise and love. And through that process, the act of chewing on earrings will gradually be extinguished as it is replaced by something more desirable. This is not an overly complicated process and is something that absolutely anybody is capable of doing. I would just make sure that you are very precise on your timing. You don't want your bird chewing on your earring for a solid minute before you actually notice that they're doing it. Otherwise, you're just going to have a lot harder of a time getting that behavior to go away. You want to be taking them off of you and ignoring them the second that their beak touches your earring and they have that intent to go and chew it. You want to cut that off right as soon as it starts, not 12 minutes into chewing on your earring. As long as you are precise with your timing on that front, you shouldn't have much problem at all with getting this behavior to stop. One thing I really do want to drill in here is that chewing and exploring are natural and healthy behaviors. You do not want to stop your bird from chewing and exploring in general. You want to make sure you are still giving them a healthy outlet for them to exhibit this behavior. Whether that means you are giving them an alternative toy to chew with on you, or you are giving them a play stand or somewhere else that is appropriate for them to be doing those behaviors, it is still very, very important for these extremely social animals to exhibit these social behaviors. So while it may be ideal to have a bird that just sits on you and is quiet and doesn't try to preen you or chew you or do anything with you, it is not realistic for their species-specific behaviors. It is very healthy for this extremely social species to engage in social activities, and that will include preening you, which includes them having to figure out what earrings and clothes and things are not things that need to be preened. So while I'm gonna say you can absolutely tell them not to chew certain things, I would still encourage you to allow your bird to exhibit these natural social behaviors so they can live their healthiest lives. Other important notes here are that I do not want you to be getting extremely frustrated with your bird. As people, it is very easy for us to get frustrated when something seems very, very simple to us, but may not be so simple to our animals, and it takes them a little longer to catch on. So while the act of taking a bird off of you every single time they chew your earring can seem exhausting, it can make you frustrated, do remember that your bird is not being dumb. They aren't doing this out of malicious intent. They aren't doing it to get a rise out of you. They're simply doing it because they don't know anything else, and they need you to help show them what you would like them to be doing. But that is going to do it for today's video. Newt used to be an absolutely horrible nibbler when it came to chewing on every new thing that he found, and you will find that this is a very normal thing, especially for extremely young birds who are still exploring. For about the first year of a bird's life, you're going to have a lot of excessive nibbling, and there's no need to get frustrated by it. Your bird is just exploring their environment. They're just trying to figure out what things are. Help them learn, help them see what the world is all about, and they will grow with you exponentially. As you can clearly see, I do have 2 earrings in on the top of my ear here, and Newt is just chilling on my shoulder with no worries. So I can tell you without a doubt that these methods do work, and you can absolutely get there. If anyone has followed my Tumblr in particular for any period of time when we first got Newt, you will remember how nibbly he was and just how frustrating it absolutely could be when he was just nibbling to his heart's content. But they will absolutely grow out of some of those phases as they mature, as long as you help show them what's appropriate and what may not be the best thing for them. So that's gonna do it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.